Hello, and welcome to Fireside Chat, where we're going to discuss mindsets, routine, and home essentials that will facilitate you in living in alignment with your creativity. Tonight, I'll be speaking with Ami Blackford and Sage, the garden fairy, about clearing mental and physical clutter. Grab a delicious beverage and join us for Live Life Creatively in Episode 1, Open Heart, Open Space. Ami, it's good to have you on tonight to launch our newest addition to the podcast. Let our listeners know a little bit about creative living and where this idea came from. Thank you, Sola. It's really great to be back. The little break that we took was really good for me. It helped recharge me. So creative living it's kind of a follow-up to The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I read that book when I was only 21. My mother-in-law, Marianne, is one who handed me a copy of it. The 12-week course transformed my life. It's where I really discovered why I am the way that I am and what I wanted to create and who I wanted to create for. And so creative living is about, and this can be for new artists as well, it's really about the implementation of creativity into your daily routine. And, I say that like we need food and water for our physical body for it to operate properly, creativity is the fuel for our spirit, which is driving the vehicle. And I feel like it's really overlooked. We're always talking about exercise and fitness and our diet and all of these other things, our finances. And creativity is oftentimes it's overlooked. And so creative living is supposed to be a very simplistic guide to following a routine. And I also have anxiety and depression, as you know. And this is something that's really important to me. And I feel like creativity really helps me to manage my depression and anxiety in a way that I couple it with medication. I take medication for it. However, the creativity is really an essential component to me being as happy and evenly happy as I am. I really love that you're pointing that out, because I find on the days that I do make time to write and to be creative in the different ways that I do, that my day just flows better. I feel better. I'm not as cranky at the end of the day. So I think this is a very valid direction for you to be taking. How does it facilitate mental health? Number one, it facilitates mental health because it is a form of meditation. It puts you in the same state. So you're in this high functioning state while also being extremely relaxed. And when I'm creating, I don't know about you, I can feel a release of endorphins flooding my body, serotonin and dopamine being the two. The dopamine is something that I notice when I'm really in a creative project, and those little happy accidents that happen, and I get surprised, like especially when I'm writing, or even with a drawing, I'll do something. Just I'm in the zone. We call it being in the zone for a reason, because you're in an altered state basically. And so I feel like creativity it's a bridge away from the ordinary. You're going into the extraordinary. You're putting yourself in an altered state of consciousness, and therefore in touch with what, I like to call God, or the field of energy around us is, if you're not comfortable with the term God, it's a higher state of being, and therefore it clears out the mind clutter. Even if that mind clutter returns once you're not creating anymore, giving yourself these little breaks throughout the day where you are activating that part of you, and just taking a step outside of the ordinary routine of your life and adding the extraordinary into your routine it really just amplifies things. It really amplifies things and clears out that mind clutter that really gets very chaotic by the end of the day. And that's why most of us go to bed so stressed out. Tonight, our two main focal points are keeping an open heart and linking this to creating more space in your mind, and therefore physical reality. Please break down how these things are interlinked. So in order to have an open heart, you have to let go of all of the projections and things you've collected. Let's just take this on a day-to-day basis to keep it as simple as possible. You have things that happen throughout your day, and if you are holding on to them, meaning energetic clutter, you're kind of hoarding those things. Maybe, as soon as you woke up, you're your spouse said something to you as you were pouring your morning coffee that just, it rubbed you the wrong way, right? And you don't let that go. And so you bring that now into the car with you, and the person in front of you won't get out of the way, and you try and punch it around them, and you end up getting into some sort of fender bender on the way into work. So now there's that you've added. And instead of taking ownership for it, you're blaming that person for going too slow. You don't care what the reason is. And therefore now at work, you're getting pulled in, to your boss's office because you've got a bad attitude at work, and today it just sent it over the edge. You came in with a chip on your shoulder because of the two things that already happened. And on and on and on throughout your day it goes, and you are just collecting this mental clutter because your heart is not open. You are very shut down. You are feeling very isolated. And when you're in that state of it's me against them, you're in fight or flight. So everyone and everything is the enemy. That is exactly how you're behaving. So instead of saying, you see the sign baby on board, and maybe the baby was getting sick in the back seat and the mom's trying to save her kid from dying in the car, and you're back there, you fucking piece of shit. So pardon my language, but this is how we think to ourselves. When we are in this shutdown mode, everyone outside of us is the enemy. So when you're coming from this mindset of the other, you're isolated, you're on your own little island, and everyone else is basically trying to steal your resources from you. This puts you in a very shut down space. And so you're much more prone to collecting these little incidences throughout your day and using them as justification to lug those on your back and then to carry them into the next scenario, because you have a lot of those that unfold throughout the day as you location change and people are changing on the stage of your life. You're then bringing that baggage into those interactions. And if you aren't clearing that clutter out, you are now bringing that hoard, that mess with you. And what's it going to do? It's going to fucking just add to the mess. It's not going to be helpful. And so that's how these things are interlinked, is that you're bringing this energetic clutter with you. And that's how it's linked to your physical reality. It then shows up in your physical space, whether that's in interactions with people, or you'll also see the clutter in your home when you are feeling, because when you're doing this, you are weighing yourself down literally. Therefore, when you get home, you're not going to be as prone to sweeping, the kitchen floor, or to vacuuming, or all of the little menial tasks that we have to attend to in the day to keep our home up. I'm not saying a perfect home. Mine is definitely lived in, but just to kind of clean up your spaces and to keep it livable, to keep it livable for yourself takes effort almost every single day. And if you are expending all of your mental effort on being angry, because you're in defense mode, you're telling your brain that you're under attack when you're not. You're drumming, I call it drumming up drama. And as you bang that drum throughout the day, you are depleting your own energy stores so that you don't have time for the things that need to be tended to near the end of your day. And this is where people really experience a crash and burn. And what does it do? Now you're angry when you get home at the kids, at your spouse, because shit doesn't look right. And everything's a mess and you don't have the energy for it. And instead of saying, maybe I should have some reserves on hand at the end of the day, you just get angry and then you go to bed angry. And it's really a vicious cycle that people are involved in. And it's something, until you really start addressing it and taking note of how much energy you are expending over nothing. It's drummed up drama, and I say drummed up because it's not real. You're fabricating it. There's real dramatics that happen. You should save these responses for those, and you would manage them a whole lot better. That's really, really a valid point, and it does tie into this next question. It was your newest warrior rule in carefully selecting, curating your beliefs because they create your reality. Why is this so important? Yeah, I love this question right here because it really piggybacks off of the one before it. It's your belief system it's in the background. It's running in the background. It's like Microsoft Word, the program is just running back there. You're not really thinking about the program when you're writing your novel. You're not really thinking about the program when you're going in to type up the email that you want to work on before you copy and paste it. You're the actual program that's running. So just think of your subconscious and even your conscious belief systems are that background program. And so your responses to people, all that drummed up drama, the reason that you are reacting that way, so you're on autopilot. These belief systems are the thing that are shaping your interactions throughout the day. And so if you have a bunch of just faulty, negative beliefs, that's what you're working with. It's a faulty program, okay? And so if you don't, it's very hard to clean up your thinking and your reactions if you are not addressing the core program, the core beliefs that are running in the background that are basically formulating these responses and these reactions. It's like trying to put a Band-Aid on a gash. Like, I mean, one that needs, 50 stitches in it. It's just the blood's going to come through it. You're not going to stem the flow. And so it's really important for people to understand going through your belief systems is essential, and it can be shocking when you start going through them, and you only go through them by assessing your reactions. So in the car, for instance, if you're screaming, then you turn and you see the mom reaching back for her baby and you're like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Because a lot of people have those moments. They check themselves, but it's too late now, right? When you check yourself, but you've already espoused, you've got into the fender bender, whatever it is. The point is that when you note a belief that is toxic, it's not making you feel good. That's how you know. It's literally poison to your spirit. It's the opposite of creativity. Creativity is the fuel. Anger, resentment, jealousy is poison. And so if you're constantly poisoning your spirit, you can imagine how well you're getting through life. It's not very good. You are disabling yourself big time. So as you're going through your day, to begin, it's just really important to take note of your reactions, your overreactions, the drummed up drama. That's where you should start. It's the easiest to notice. And you do that by noticing when you don't feel good. And why am I getting so worked up about this little stuff? What belief do I have? Maybe you have the belief that people are just idiots and are trying to slow you down. That's the belief. And when you say it out loud, you realize how ridiculous it sounds. And you have to start telling yourself. So next time you get into that scenario, you feel the anger welling up. You say to yourself, this person, for all I know, they have a baby, or that somebody just died and they're crying and they can't hardly see. You start to have more compassion instead of just jumping to, they're an idiot trying to slow me down. You open that up to, I don't really know what's going on with this person. How about I just send them well wishes and I get out of the way as easily as possible. And that's it. That's how you change it. But that's why it's so important, because it's the thing that's controlling you. It's the thing controlling your reactions. And until you understand your limiting beliefs is what, that's kind of like the term that's out there that people will hear, and it aggravates them. It aggravates them because it's poking them right where it hurts. That's what they are. They're limiting your experience of life. That's why it's called that. And when you start to challenge those beliefs, because we all have them, you start rewriting the program that is literally controlling your life. Amy, I think that's a really powerful statement. Thank you for that. How do you suggest our listeners approach cleaning up their mental and physical mess? I know this is going to sound almost cheesy for some people. You really have to take it easy on yourself. Take a deep breath right now. There's a lot going on in the world, and we're all really stressed out about it. And if you're noticing the physical mess, because a lot of times it's easier to see the physical mess and going, oh, wow, I'm in a bad place. I really need to start cleaning this up. But the more you say I need to clean this up, like my closet is a disaster. It's been like this for a year and a half. And every time I go in there, it just shuts me down because I'm not emotionally prepared for it yet. I'm getting there. I'm running a spring cleaning challenge, and I'm going to join in and focus on that one area. And it's because I mentally wasn't prepared yet because of everything going on with remote attack. That's still going on, by the way. But things are getting better. But the point is that there's something really taking up my mental space, and therefore trying to tackle some of these bigger projects can be intimidating. So if you're one of these people that has a lot going on and you just can't manage it, you might just tackle a very small area that's been bothering you. Like in the kitchen, I have next to the coffee, there's just this little area that gets very cluttered. You might do something small and see how that improves just your morning experience when you go to make the coffee. And if it really feels good, you might tackle another small area. Sometimes it's as easy as wiping something down, like my coffee table that I eat at. I eat my dinners and lunches out there. I like to sit Indian style, cross-legged on the floor, and I sit there and I eat, and it's gotten pretty messy and dirty, and I'm gonna go wipe that down today. Just set little tiny goals before tackling the bigger things, like a bedroom closet can be really intimidating for people. And so going easy on yourself. There's something that happens when you send yourself compassion, because we rarely do this. We'll do it for other people. It's okay. You're good. No, go easy on yourself. But when it comes to us taking it easy on ourselves, if you're a bad person, don't go easy on yourself. You really need to figure that out so you don't hurt other people. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about are good people that are being way too hard on themselves. And the way to get things going in the right direction, to unclog the wheels, so to speak, is you have to take a step back and just say, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best, and I'm going to do this as a gift to myself. It is not a punishment. And I'm going to take a smaller area on as opposed to a bigger one, and then you can kind of build on it. You might look at spring cleaning. You're going to carry on through the summer with it and just take it one area, starting with the smallest one. You get the reward and moving on to the next one. So that's my best advice there. Amy, I think you covered some really important and key mindsets for people. What is, in your mind, the real motivation behind people digging in and doing this kind of work? Because it can be intimidating. It can be really intimidating when you first start monitoring your thoughts and your beliefs. What is the motivation there? The biggest motivation is the peace that you find. We all talk about meditation. We externalize it, yoga, Pilates. There's all these things that people will do to feel more at peace. And while those are valid, a lot of times the mental is overlooked. We're looking at external things that we can do. When the mind is really the thing, we're at war with it. That's why I call myself a warrior, a wisdom warrior, spiritual warrior. It's a war we're having in our own mind with ourselves. And it's happening thousands of times a day. And this is another reason to not drum up drama. You're already dealing with a whole lifetime of it in your mind. And it's exhausting. And so if people would also start looking at it that way, that you want to minimize the drama that you're exposing yourself to, because we really are all traumatized on some level from the external world and the things that are happening, and then just the internal stuff that we deal with, and kind of dealing with yourself in a more gentle fashion. And so the real motivation is to cultivate peace. Cultivate peace so that background program can just run, and you're operating from that grounded, peaceful place, so that your interactions are more peaceful, so that your day is more peaceful, that when you're creating, from whatever you're doing, from creating to just daily, those mundane tasks that nobody wants to do, like the laundry that I never fold because I'm just going to wear it. I just don't do it. But if I get in the mood to fold laundry, I do get myself into a specific mental place, and I allow myself to be more at peace while I'm doing it, instead of sitting there. I hate folding laundry. Don't do things from this forced, anxious perspective. Every time you can kind of find yourself, especially the mundane tasks, if you can look at them as, wax on, wax off in the Karate Kid. Look at them as little moments in your day to mentally just go on autopilot, and I call them brain breaks. Because meditation is it's like calling yourself an artist. I call people creatives. Artist is too heavy. People back up from it. It's the same thing with meditation. People are like, oh, I gotta sit a certain way and breathe a certain way, and I can't have one thought. It's ruined, and then they don't even try. Brain breaks, it's the same thing. Do it when you're driving, you know where you're going. In the shower, any moment in the day, these little snippets where you can just stop, do the thing, clear your mind, because you don't need to think in that moment. It does wonders for you. And so the real motivation is finding peace, because at the end of the day, everybody's like, I want to find happiness. Happiness is fleeting, just like sorrow is. It's here, it's not here. Peace is really that neutral, calm thing that we're looking for. Because even happiness, you're like, oh, but this is going to be over soon. I don't like that feeling. And so you're not even really allowing yourself to be happy because you know it's not going to last. And so peace for me is really the set point. It's what I'm going for in everything at this point. So I think that's the motivation. Beautiful, Amy. Is there a closing message you can give us to help those that struggle with organization and facing their mind monsters? Let go of trying to do this perfect. There is no perfection in it. It takes practice, just like you wouldn't expect to, take one piano lesson and then be Mozart. It's not going to happen. Just understand that this is the same exact principle as any creative endeavor, any craft that you want to learn. It really is an art form, mastering the mind, therefore mastering your emotions, and therefore mastering your physical reality. It takes time and practice. And I'm trying in Creative Living, what we're going to be doing is setting you all up for success with linking mindset to your physical reality in the best way that we can, in applicable terms that are easy to digest, that are easy to understand. I want you to be able to live a more mindful, peaceful life without all of some of these philosophies and everything. They can be very inaccessible to people. And what we want to do is just to create a more peaceful state within us. And I want to be able to help people do that because the mind monster is your biggest enemy. It's not people outside of you. It's literally that monster inside of you that is consuming you and saying a bunch of really horrible things to you. And most of us are lashing out externally because we're trying to run from that monster. So getting control of this is really important. So if you're struggling with organization, it just means your mind is probably cluttered. Your mind is cluttered and you're having a hard time focusing. And I understand, nobody understands it more than I do, especially if you suffer with anxiety and depression. The depression hits you, you're immobile. You don't even want to take a shower, never mind, tackling something like your closet. And then anxiety, if I'm not depressed, I'm anxious. I go in there, it induces almost a panic attack. So I understand that some of these mental health challenges can really get in the way of accomplishing things. And I just want to encourage people to understand as you get your mind monster under control, those symptoms will lessen and you're going to have more power in your life. So I just want to encourage people, just take it one step at a time. It's not going to be perfect. There is no perfection in this. It is a process that takes years to get to a place where you're really mastering it, but you have to start somewhere. And it's going to improve your life 1,000-fold right away by how good it makes you feel. So there is the immediate gratification payoff. It's not like playing the piano where you just sound like absolute garbage for, 5-6 years before you sound really good to yourself. There's an immediate payoff when it comes to applying these types of principles, and that is you just start feeling better. So yeah, that's my encouraging last statement. Thank you, Amy, for that. And up next, Amy's going to be interviewing her garden fairy, Sage. Welcome to the studio, Sage. Tell our listeners why you asked to join us on the Live Life Creatively podcast.
Hello, Amy. Thank you for having me. The reason I asked to join is, you're outside watering the plants, and I really enjoy listening to you talk to yourself while you're out there. It really is a delight, and I just thought that I could add to the conversation, seeing I am the garden fairy, and I know creative living is all about living this routine of creativity, and I just thought that I have things that I would like to add to this conversation, and I really do appreciate that you and Sola decided to invite me on. I know that having accommodations for fairies it's very special, if I can say so myself. I really appreciate it. And also thank you for having the honeysuckle tea at my request. It is absolutely delicious.
Wonderful. So I know the backyard has been a bit chaotic. Let's just jump right in. Why do you think it's important to keep outside spaces tidy?
I really appreciate this question because it has been a bit of a concern due to our backyard. And I'm going to try and phrase this in a way that is not offensive to Lance in case he's listening. I know that he works with wood and he is very good with his hands and a craftsman, and he has a lot of tools and things outside, but the clutter has gotten to be a bit extreme. And so that brings me to my point, which is it's not good because not only does it not look good, it collects dust and debris, cobwebs, and creatures. Predators can hide inside those things that you leave out there. A snake is, it's one of those creatures that it can crawl into very little spaces and you don't know it's there. And I'm an advocate for the rabbits, and the rabbits don't see the snake, and rabbits have it very hard, as you know. They're always being hunted. People like to put them in stew, chop their foot off for that good luck charm. Please don't do that if you're listening and you're buying those for your children. It is a horrific tradition. It would be like us lopping off a human head and putting it on a post outside our mushroom home in the forest. It's barbaric. I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm just putting in a request here. So back to the original question. I know I went off on a little bit of a tangent. Lance can appreciate that. I hear him doing that a lot when he's talking. So not that I'm listening. I'm not listening, but I can't help. I'm buzzing around the downstairs, and sometimes he leaves that back window open and lets the fresh air in. That's how Lottie, the little cat, can sometimes escape, so he needs to be careful of that if he's listening. Anyway, predators of all kinds, and spiders, we're friends with the spiders. Spiders they have a very bad rap. I don't understand why people have such a problem with spiders. You know, we really do need them. I know that they catch insects. It's the circle of life. It's how things operate. But I have a problem with predators like snakes, especially in Georgia. They are everywhere. And so the more you have clutter, the more those predators can hide. And then the children, if they're outside playing, it creates a very unsafe environment. And like I said, I am advocating for the rabbits in particular. And please, I know now that I'm talking about the rabbits, I know I'm kind of going on a little bit. However, they need to eat, and so I understand that a lot of people get very upset that they get in your vegetable gardens. Please just understand that the garden for you is a novelty, most of you. It is. You go to the grocery store and you use the garden to supplement. Please understand that the rabbits don't have a grocery store to go to, and so your garden is their grocery store. So please just keep that in mind when you want to lay traps for them and murder them, because they're just trying to find their way in this already overrun world by the human population. I know I'm getting a little defensive here, so I'm going to try and tone it down. I feel like I'm getting a little agitated, which is not the energy that I wanted to bring onto the podcast, especially in my introduction.
Oh, wow. Okay, that was quite the answer. I know that was the question before. Pardon me. What are your thoughts on burning wood outside this time of year?
This is an excellent question. Don't do it, please. All of us are asking the insects, the rabbits, even the predators. We don't like the smoke. We understand that you want to pretend like you're camping in your backyard, but you're not, and the trees don't appreciate it. The world is already sweltering from intense heat. It's everywhere. We understand California doesn't appreciate you burning fires in your backyard right now. It's almost as if you're poking fun at them and they don't appreciate it. So just don't do it. It's rude and it's very dangerous. Just think of those embers floating up into most of your trees that are laden with pesticide. That you should not be spraying that poison everywhere either. We will be getting to that, I'm hoping. I did ask you to put that in there. I'm really hoping that that's in there. Just don't burn fires, okay? You can pretend you could put a candle inside, maybe a scented candle. Get one that smells like pine. That'd be delightful. You can cue up some crackling sounds on YouTube. We know there are literally thousands of those that you all have recorded neurotically while on your camping trips to showcase how much fun you're having more than your human friends, and we appreciate that very much. So cue up one of those YouTubes, put that on, put a scented pine candle in the middle, preferably from a small business that's struggling. Please don't go to Bath and Body Works. No offense to you, Bath and Body Works, but can we please put our money back into, the home-based businesses, the small business owner? Let's get back to the basics, please. It's really a time in human history where we need to have more love and compassion for our fellow humans and stop giving these big evil corporations all of our hard-earned money. And I know a garden fairy should not know anything about this, but I get around. I'm in an area that is close to the city. I'm not a country fairy, and so I do listen when people leave their windows open. I kind of hear the things that are going on, and my home has residents such as Lance. His voice carries, it's very amplified. Even when he is not DJing, he is making a lot of noise, and I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining because it keeps me informed. I like to say that I am an informed garden fairy, so I am thankful for that. Having appreciation for the little things in life is so important, so have appreciation while you buy that scented pine candle from the small business owner. And then you download, try and find a YouTube from a non-pretentious YouTube creator. You can tell, just go and look at their photo, look at what they're doing. If they are charging money, you should not download their music. They should be giving their time for free. Unless they have a brick and mortar store, and then you should help them because that is a real business that needs support. Okay, we don't want to make things too easy on people. I know I should not be an advocate for that, but I'm trying to keep things in balance. Maybe listening at people's screens is starting to affect me. I'm getting a negative energy. I should clear that. I didn't mean that. That YouTuber should be paid for their beautiful crackling noise, and maybe they are not being pretentious. I think I'm being infected. Maybe I shouldn't be on the podcast. Can we cut this part out?
I don't know. I'll have to ask Sola. She's in charge of all of the video editing, and so maybe she'll cut it out. The pollen is intense. What can we do to help that situation?
Amy, this is a very silly question. There's absolutely nothing you can do about the pollen, as you know, nor should you. It is needed. It is the food for the flowers. So what I hear you asking me is this nuisance. There's a nuisance for the flowers. Once a year, Amy, is all the vegetation gets the pollen for. And so right now, I would appreciate it if you would allow Mother Earth to get the food that she needs to sustain herself without trying to get around the situation, in quotes. Yes, I'm making air quotes. I really think you should ask Lance to keep his window down so I'm not picking up these very human qualities. I don't even know what word I'm trying to use right there. I'm very agitated right now because what I feel like is happening is that humans just are annoyed by the natural processes of Gaia. And when it should be the other way around, Gaia is very annoyed with you, not the fairies. Although I am becoming quite humanized, I think. And I need to change that. I think I need to move further back out in the yard. But you have that fire pit there. It makes me very nervous. I'm just afraid I'm going to be near it. He's going to ignite it. There's going to be pesticide. And my wings are just going to poof, go up in smoke. And I don't like that idea. So that's going to bring us to the last question. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, or should I say behind myself? I'm not really sure. But what I am sure of is that you should not wipe the pollen off. You should not get it washed off your car. You should just let it coat everything in the beautiful, glorious food that it is for the earth. And when it is done, it is done. And then you can wash things, but not a moment before things are done being pollinated. Just leave the pollen alone. Once a year, Amy, could you imagine only getting to go to the grocery store once a year, and then me buzzing in to your kitchen, opening the refrigerator and saying, this is annoying, how do we get rid of everything? Because that is what I heard. I know that isn't what you meant to say, but that is what my ears heard. Can I get a little bit more of the honeysuckle tea, please?
Yes, Sola is going to get that for you. I'm glad that you're enjoying the tea. And you're right. I should not be asking about the pollen. It is annoying for us, but we do forget that we are the visitors here, not Mother Earth. So thank you for pointing that out. I will try and rein in those complaints next year. What's your advice to our listeners this spring and summer for backyards?
I've literally been on the edge of my little seat here to answer this question. Thank you so much for asking it, although I noticed you didn't say it. You didn't say pesticide. I'm wondering, do you have a pesticide sponsor for the podcast? I'm hoping not. If you do, I'm never going to return. No, okay, good. I didn't think so. I didn't think you would. I think I'm in a little bit of defense mode right now. That pollen question, it triggered me a little bit. So, pesticide, please stop spraying the pesticide. Everyone just, I know it's annoying. The bugs are eating the leaves, and it is a major inconvenience that they need to feed themselves. But it would be as if, again, imagine me buzzing in to your refrigerator that you left food from for the first time in a year, and I just decided to coat it in cyanide. Let's just use cyanide as an example. How would that make you feel? Dead, right? Yes, it would make you feel dead. That is how it feels for the bugs, the innocent bugs, the rabbits, all of the creatures, the predators, all of them. You're just wiping them out. It is a big genocide of Mother Earth. That is what you are doing. I know those words don't go together, but it's the only thing that I can use to evoke the sense of what you are doing every year. You are creating a mass slaughter. We lost many last year. I don't know if I had meningitis, and if you don't know what that is, it is when you have pesticide poisoning. It carries on the wind, it carries on pollen, it attaches to everything. And here are the symptoms. You feel dizzy, you have a headache, it produces a hallucinogenic effect. You may even hear some voices. Your throat will start to feel like it's closing, and it really activates with heat. So it's a complete disaster for all of us, and even for our human friends. I know, Amy, you were suffering from pesticide poisoning last year. Lance went a little crazy on the yard. I'm hoping, Lance, if you hear this, please do not spray things with pesticide. Just this year, if you could just let things go free, organic. Just think organic, not toxic. Because, your yard isn't even that big, and so that wind, it just blows it right back in the house. It was poisoning the animals, it was poisoning the family. You may not have noticed, but Amy certainly did. So Amy, back to you. The effects, it creates almost this, what I call an electric storm in the brain. Bing bong, it feels like a bing bong insects, almost these. It looks like lightning bugs. I love lightning bugs, aren't they beautiful? I love that time of year when the lightning bugs come out. But this is like lightning bugs that are really amplified. Think of them, maybe they're on Adderall. I hear Adderall being discussed by my human friends. They don't like it, or they do like it. I don't really know, but I know it's a drug that speeds up the way that they talk. And so it's like that. It's like the lightning bugs consumed, however you take the Adderall. they take the Adderall and then they're going around your head. That is what it is like, and it zaps you. So it's like those horrific contraptions that Lance would put out on the back deck. I hope he doesn't do that anymore either. I hope he listens to this podcast, because Amy, you don't do any of these things. They make you cringe. They lure the innocent bug in and then zap them, murder them. So there's murderous contraptions everywhere. We don't like humans very much. If these things don't change, we are forming a coalition, nay, an army, and we're going to start coming for you. So it is a warning. It got a little dark. I'm not trying to be dark, but I'm trying to issue a warning. Don't spray the pesticide. We're going to take it as a direct attack on our survival. And I have to tell you, if it's going to be us or you, we are going to win, because we have Mother Earth on our side. She is not happy. So I think part of creative living, Amy, you use plants in your photography. I hope that you are going to be an advocate for Mother Earth through creative living. That is why I'm here. I'm an advocate, and it's a powerful addition. I hope my aggression doesn't get misunderstood and that you do invite me back.
This concludes tonight's episode. We hope that you enjoyed our conversation. You can join Amy's Spring Cleaning Challenge. Please find information about Amy on Facebook and Instagram in the description box beneath this video.